All right, what's up, everybody? It's Fast Cars, Fast Money, and we're back. Finally, we have the starting lineup for Bristol, the dirt race for the Cup Series and the Truck Series this weekend. So we can finally get into the driver analysis a little bit more, look at the individual drivers and kind of give you guys some thought process as far as, hey, this is going to be a good play and this isn't going to be a good play. Before we were waiting for the heat races and practice, to see where these guys were going to be starting. But unfortunately, it's been raining super hard in Bristol all weekend. It looks like it's raining pretty hard there again today. I'm recording this Sunday morning. So good chance the races don't even happen today. They might get pushed to Monday. But one thing to pay attention to is if you're playing on DraftKings, you want to make sure that DraftKings contest is getting pushed back as well. There's a chance it could lock today at 4 o'clock. So if that's the case, we want to make sure that we're getting our lineups in beforehand. So real quickly, if you watched our last breakdown video, we didn't go too in depth just because we didn't really know that much stuff. But looking at the Cup Series specifically for this video, like I said, there's no more heat races, so the grid is based off of the formula like they've been using all year long. Practice is pretty much useless. We've seen how much the track has changed, and they've even have removed some of that clay, which was on the top layer, which was causing them a lot of problems. So wouldn't really rely on practice too much as far as, oh, hey, he ran the fastest lap time in practice, he's going to be a good play. Like, the track is just going to be completely different. So with that being said, what we're focusing on as a group is really just stacking as many place differential plays as possible. Expecting a lot of cautions, a lot of chaos. You probably want to take a couple of risks of some guys starting up front, especially if they're, a good dirt driver and you feel like they can lead some laps. But mainly, we just want to throw in as many good place differential plays as possible. I think the bad equipment, is in play for this weekend just because of how uncertain and unpredictable this race is going to be. So there's basically only 2 times a year when you play the bad equipment, super speedways and, what is now, I guess, going to be the dirt race. Be curious if they're going to have this race moving forward or not, because it's just been a mess with all the rain and trying to get the dirt to the right consistency to actually allow them to race on it. There's just been so many issues with it. Expecting a lot of caution. So again, want to throw a lot of guys in the back of the field in the line. It's supposed to rain all day again, so it's probably going to get delayed. And you don't really want to narrow down your driver pool too much. You probably want to maybe try to eliminate 10 to 15 guys, and then play 25 to 30 guys and just kind of mix and match your lines accordingly. So with that being said, let's just hop into the the picks. Probably why you guys are all here looking at the video. So let's start with the expensive guys. So Kyle Larson is probably the favorite to win this race. However, he's going to be scored from the pole position, but he had to switch his engine, so he's going to start at the rear of the field. So he'll start the race with like negative 39, negative 40 points, however many it is. And he'll have to claw his way back up to the front. So he has the best car in the field. He's the best dirt driver. He's probably going to be really, really high owned, and he's expensive. So we're still going to play him. We still think he's a good play. But I would probably lower your ownership on Larson just because he's going to have to drive through the field and he could easily get involved in a wreck or running into heating problems again. And if you have him in your lineup and he doesn't basically win the race or get you a bunch of laps led or fast laps, he's just going to absolutely kill your line. And a lot of people might not realize that he is starting, dead last, even though it shows him starting first. He'll be scored from first, but he'll start last. So just kind of sucks for Larson in this Cup race. I still think he's in play, but definitely going to be lowering my ownership. So if I'm not playing as much Larson, who else am I going to play? Well, I like Christopher Bell. I like Tyler Reddick. Bell probably has the second most dirt experience in the field, right behind Larson. He is in really good equipment. He starts 15th, so he offers you some solid place differential, whereas Larson doesn't offer you any. Reddick offers you even more place differential. He looked really good in practice. He was just getting into a rhythm. He was kind of trying to run a little bit more of that higher line. And if they eliminated some of this clay and they actually get a cushion in place that they weren't able to do with the clay, he should be able to run that high line a little bit better. And we really just want to focus on place differential. And starting 27th, he offers you a lot of it. So we like Reddick. Stenhouse, he has a good dirt background. He starts 13th, so he's probably going to be the lowest owned out of these guys. So we're really going to be focusing on Reddick and Bell, I think, for the most part, for the expensive guys. But another guy we're really, really high on is Chase Briscoe. Briscoe's another dirt ringer, starts 25th. He's in good equipment, should easily move forward, and he'll be one of the favorites to win the race, probably along with Larson and Bell. So he just has more upside than the other guys do from a place differential standpoint. So we love Briscoe. It's really easy to fit in lineups too at his price. Austin Dillon, we're not crazy about. A lot of people have been talking about his dirt experience, but there's a lot of good plays in the field, and he starts 9th. So if he doesn't have a good day, it's going to hurt your line. Friesen's interesting. He isn't in great equipment, but he starts so deep in the field, and he understands how to drive these dirt tracks that he should move forward. Like, he's probably not going to be in contention to win the race, but if he finishes top 15, even top 10, he's going to turn out to be a great DFS play. So we like Friesen a lot. It's just we wish he was in a little bit better equipment. Not interested in Blaney, not interested in Hamlin. They just start too close to the front of the field. Kyle Busch is probably in that category for us as well. He does have some more dirt experience, so we could see him hanging around the top 10. But again, with how unpredictable this race is and the potential of anyone wrecking out or overheating or having an issue, him starting 4th, if he doesn't have a good day, it's going to kill your line. Whereas a Chase Elliott, who starts 26th, who might not have as much dirt experience as Kyle Busch has, but basically in the same, top tier equipment. If he doesn't have a good day, it's not going to hurt you as much as if Kyle Busch doesn't have a good day. So we like Chase Elliott a lot. Bubba Wallace is okay. He kind of starts right in the mid pack of the field, so he could kind of lean either way, or, if he finishes around where he starts, he's just going to be okay. So if you land on Bubba Wallace, when you look at how much salary you have left, we don't mind plugging him in. We're definitely going to have some ownership to him, but I'm not going to be overweight or underweight on Wallace. Logano, not too interested in. He doesn't really have that much dirt experience. He starts a little bit closer to the front of the field. Same with Harvick and Truex. They're just not dirt guys. They were planning on getting some experience by running the truck race, but because of Mother Nature canceling the races, the Cup race is actually going to be run before the truck race. So they're not going to get any laps on this track. And they start really close to the front. So I can see both of them fading backwards. Kurt Busch, love Kurt Busch. Really, really cheap, really easy to fit in your lines. He starts 28th. Him and Kyle both grew up dirt racing, so he hasn't done it, a lot recently, but at least he's familiar with it. He has that in his background, and he starts 28th, so he's a great place differential play. Bowman looked good in practice, but probably a GPP only play. He starts 7th, so it is extremely risky. And like I said, we really just want to build around place differential, and he doesn't really have that much. So not too crazy about Bowman. Brad Keselowski starts 20th. He's kind of in the same boat as Bubba Wallace. Keselowski doesn't really have that much dirt experience. He basically just said, hey, I'm just going to show up to Bristol and, see what happens. So I don't see him having like a career day, but I don't see him being terrible either. He'll probably finish around right where he starts. And I don't really know if that's going to be enough for you from a DFS standpoint. Chris Windham and Mike Marlar, they both start so deep in the field, and they both are, dirt ringers, that they should be able to ride around and survive the wrecks, understand what lines you should be running. Like, yeah, their equipment isn't good at all, but we're expecting this race to have a lot of cautions. So if other guys are wrecking out, they're only going to continue to move forward. They're probably not going to finish any higher than like 20th, but they offer so much place differential that if you can get those guys in your lines, it's going to help you out. So don't go crazy with these guys, but don't completely eliminate them either, just because of the equipment that they're in. Just because this dirt should really make it a much more even playing field. William Byron won the iRacing event, but iRacing at Bristol Dirt it doesn't really carry over that much to what it really is going to be like. And that might even spike his ownership a little bit. Starts 8th, not too crazy there. Newman has a good dirt background. He's looked solid all weekend, whether it was in his cup car or his truck, which unfortunately he isn't going to make the truck race anymore because he doesn't have enough ownership points. Newman's probably a GPP only play just based upon where he starts, but we really like to try to build your lines with guys that have dirt experience and offer some place differential. So Newman's okay. Wouldn't go crazy overweight or, underweight on him, but definitely going to have a good chunk of Newman. Shane is in the 78, kind of the BJ McLeod car. Very similar to the other dirt ringers. He starts 35th. So just kind of mix and match these guys, have them in your lines. They offer some good place differential. Matty D starts 12th. Doesn't really offer too much upside. Not really going to be too interested there. Ty Dillon literally starts last, so he can only move forward. His opportunities to race are really, really limited. So he's really trying to make the most out of them. Love Ty Dillon. He's really cheap. You can easily plug him into every line. And he's not going to hurt you at all. Same with JJ Yaley. Like, he's a little bit more expensive for the equipment that he's in, but he has dirt experience. He starts deep in the field. If there's wrecks, if there's cautions, he'll be able to move forward and get you some good place differential. But his finishing potential isn't as high as, probably some of the guys that are in better equipment that also start deep, like Tyler Reddick, a Chase Briscoe, I forget, Chase Elliott. Like, some of those guys that are in the better equipment that start deep, they have a lot more upside than a JJ Yaley. But JJ Yaley's so cheap that you can easily plug him in your line and still get some good place differential out of him. Chris Buescher starts too close to the front. Ryan Preece, Eric Almirola, Eric Jones, Cole Custer, all these guys are basically the same play. They all start right next to each other. They're all the same price. They all have about the same amount of upside. They're okay. Like, if you land on these guys, it's fine. They're just okay plays. Ross Chastain starts probably a little bit too close to the front. He's really aggressive, so I could see him easily wrecking out. Michael McDowell, really cheap, but he kind of starts in that no man's land. I don't really see him working out. Corey LaJoie doesn't have too much dirt experience. He's been trying to get as much of it as possible. He starts 30th. He's really cheap, so offers some place differential, and he gives you a lot of salary relief to get some of those top tier guys. So I like LaJoie. Suarez doesn't have any dirt experience. He was trying to get the truck race in to get more laps, but that got canceled. So not too crazy about Suarez. Alfredo hasn't been, too much to write home about this year, but he starts pretty deep in the field. So if he can just continue to clock off laps, he's pretty much the same play as Corey LaJoie, basically the same price too. And then if you're going to be playing an ugly, equipment play between like Bilicki, Ware, and Huff, I'd rather pay up and try to get some of those dirt ringers or guys that have dirt experience. Even though these guys start so deep in the field, I just feel like their upside is going to be limited. So that's pretty much going to be it for the Cup race. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. If this has been helpful to you at all, like the video, subscribing, it really means a lot to us. You can hop over on Twitter. It's at Fast Cars FM. You'll be able to pull the spreadsheet up yourselves and just maybe while you're making lineups and be like, oh, okay, Bell, Reddick, Briscoe, and start plugging those guys in just based upon, how much interest we have in those guys. And that's going to be it. So yeah, very interesting week from fantasy NASCAR, DFS standpoint. But yeah, after you get done watching this video, we also have a truck video out there. So feel free to hop over on that and you can get our truck thoughts as well. But best of luck to everybody. And, most likely we'll be watching this race on Monday. So catch you on the next one.